Emily, and I'm an account director at 3Pipe. I wanted to take some time out today to chat you through a micro-influencer campaign which we recently ran for one of our clients, Gina Girls, in partnership with the Instagram influencer network Takumi. So to give you a quick rundown of Gina Girls, they're essentially a range of children's collectible figurines, and we were tasked with driving buzz and excitement around parents on Instagram in the pre-launch phase prior to launch. So I'll start by introducing Takumi. They are the UK's largest Instagram influencer network, and they have just over 4,000 influencers on their books, each who have between 1,000 and 100,000 followers. It's an automated platform online which kind of brands and their agencies have complete kind of access to, whether that's kind of vetting at the sign-up stage, or also looking at the outputs which are coming through as the campaign runs. You can segment your influencers according to a number of different verticals, be that age, gender, location, or indeed kind of interest. So for Gina Girls, as an example, we were very interested in those with a parenting interest, but you can also segment according to kind of fashion, food, art, history, whatever you might be looking for. Now, I'm sure you're probably all likely to be familiar with kind of influencer campaigns in general, and indeed how kind of time-consuming and labour-intensive it can be to be compiling kind of influencers for a one-to-one kind of engagement strategy. Particularly we're seeing now with the rise of kind of spam bots and hashtag schemes, the authenticity of influencers is coming kind of increasingly into question, and it can become a bit of a minefield for brands to kind of navigate that world and ensure that the influencers that they're partnering with are authentic, have an authentic reach and audience, and generally do have that affinity to resonate with the target audience. Working with Takumi essentially kind of cuts out all that kind of aggravation and worry for brands. They have both a machine and a human-led vetting process which goes through and checks that everybody is kosher and up to speed, so you can kind of rest assured that who you'll be working with will generate outputs that actually drive ROI for your brand. Working with kind of micro-influencers compared to macro-influencers, I guess kind of the key benefit really is that ability to drive that kind of UGC, which genuinely kind of engages, excites, and really has an authentic reach, I suppose. We tend to see, actually, contrary to what people might believe, that the larger kind of follower base for an influencer, the less likely their content is to reach the influencer, particularly with how Instagram is now kind of running its algorithm and its kind of newsfeed now that it's no longer done chronologically. Just to give you an idea of some stats, what we tend to see is that for a kind of Takumi size influencer who's got less than 100,000 followers, we tend to see an engagement rate of around 3% on their content. When you kind of take it above 100,000 followers, you tend to see that drop to about 1.7%, which, as you can kind of see, is quite a kind of significant decrease, really. So for now, we kind of explained a bit about Takumi. If I take you onto our specific campaign for Gina Girls, we were targeted and briefed really to reach mums on Instagram who had a kind of micro-influence at scale. And I guess kind of thing there is we're really looking to reduce that media wastage compared to a kind of one-to-one targeting program, as one might ordinarily associate with kind of traditional, more blogger kind of outreach, from more of a press office side of things. So the first step really in working with Takumi is the creation of a brief. They're very collaborative, and it enables kind of the agency, the brand, but also Takumi to devise a brief which is really crystal clear and drives those kind of outputs forward with the influencers. So what we were looking to do really is kind of take these collectible figurines and really bring them to life, showcase them really in the kind of children in hand, and really bring the magic of the product alive. So you'll see kind of down each of the sidebars here on the case, so there are also examples of the images which we created. We were focused on really kind of still content, but also video. The great thing also is that brands are able to have oversight of the images as they're coming through, so you can really have that kind of peace of mind and ensure that the outputs are in line with the key messages, they're on brand, they're what you're looking for. So as you can see, these examples here are exactly kind of spot on. Another great aspect of Takumi really is that you have usage rights as the brand to all the images which are created through the campaign. You're allowed to use them for online purposes, for below-the-line things. So actually what we did in the instance of Gina Girls is used a selection of these images on social media to bolster the kind of asset suite that we had for a paid social media campaign. So to kind of touch on the results of the campaign down here at the bottom, we engaged 30 micro-influencers with a kind of combined reach of around 266,000. And within that, when we're looking at engagement specifically, we had just shy of 6,000 post likes generated through the campaign. something which we wouldn't have been able to reach kind of with that budget if we were doing a kind of one-to-one engagement strategy. I think that really is the kind of key thing with Takumi. It's very cost effective. It enables you to kind of get going with a very short kind of time frame. The lead times are very reasonable, so particularly for launch activity where assets and things like be delayed, this really is fantastic. What I've done is I've included a link to this case study in the down bar below. So if you want to have a read on our website at your leisure, please do so. And also if you have any questions or want to have a chat to us about what we could do for your brand when it comes to micro-influencers, do let us know and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you and speak to you soon.